So the Tune Transitions program, it's evidence-based, like D.A. Harrington mentioned. It is based on CASEL, C-A-S-E-L, and the 5 core competencies. So we're teaching the kids self-awareness, we're teaching them self-regulation, so self-management, we're teaching them about social awareness, so how they can interact with others, we're teaching them interpersonal skills and responsible decision-making. And the reason why I paired that with storytelling is because storytelling gives them context. You can tell them, okay, how are you feeling? But if they can't attach that to an actual event, it's really hard for them to process it. And I base this off of neuroscience, really, because we have 2 parts of the brain. There's the right side of the brain that's responsible for emotions. That's like the big creative side. And then we have the left side that's responsible for rationality, analytic, and kids don't know how to connect those things. So when they're able to have an experience, so the right side of the brain goes off, they have to talk about it to then process it and process it in an analytical way. And so that's why we use storytelling. And so right now in the program, we just got started, and it's tough with the virtual learning. And it's really a flexible program, and it evolves based on which students I'm working with, what they're feeling at the time. It is not a strict curriculum. It's not going to be a curriculum that you hand it to someone and say, okay, here you go, this is it. So right now we're talking a lot about how challenging virtual learning is, because that's what they want to talk about, and that's what they're dealing with right now. And so we talk about the emotions that are coming up from that and how we can manage them in healthy ways. And the last thing I'll mention is that the main focus for me and for the principals as well, because we've had many conversations, is to meet the kids where they're at. We can't give them, say, oh, meditate, or take 10 deep breaths when they can't even experience their anger, when they don't even really know what's going on. So we're meeting them where they're at. I had a kid actually I talked to today who was like, I was like, what do you do when you're angry? Oh, I punch a wall. And I was like, okay, well, explain the reasons why this is not okay, but if I want to meet him where he's at, I can say, well, what's something that you can punch that A, doesn't hurt you, doesn't damage property, and doesn't hurt anybody else? And he didn't know, and I was like, what about a punching bag? He was like, oh, I don't have a punching bag. What about a pillow? And he was like, oh, I'll try that. So next week, I'm going to check in with him and see if he punched the pillow. So really, it's just ways that we can take incremental steps towards better feeling things, and that's kind of the process.